Good morning. Just a minute. Good morning, and welcome to the weekly multi-platform service of Tri-County Unitarian Universalists based in Summerfield, Florida. We acknowledge that we occupy the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the indigenous peoples of Florida. I'm Maria Kelly, your today's services leader, and I want to give a big hello to our members and friends, and a special welcome to those who are visiting us for the first time. Unitarian Universalists are united not by a creed of shared beliefs, but by a covenant of shared values. We celebrate that we don't need to think alike to love alike. It's our respect and our encouragement of each other's diversity of thought that truly bind us together. For the curious and the seekers, Unitarian Universalist values and covenant may be found. Sorry. Who said that? I didn't say sorry. Sorry. It wasn't me, but I'll say sorry anyway. So our values and covenant may be found on your order of service or at our website, triuu.org. Our newsletter, included in the timetable, can also be found there under news and events. We have some announcements, but first, please mute your phone because we don't want any disruptions. Okay, yeah, only we are allowed to disrupt the service. I know that getting here by 9 a.m. on Sundays is not an easy feat. Oh, tell me about it. Do you know that the Reverend Kristina usually arrives here at 8:20, the same mornings when she's preaching, mostly hanging around the foyer or in her office? Since she has to lead another service at UUCLC, she doesn't have much time to spend chatting after our postlude, but she would love to get to know us. So how about if you get here before 9 a.m. and just drop by and say hello and what is going on with your life, things like that. Reverend Kristina is also available following Sunday services until 10:20ish and available to talk. So come and say hi. This Thursday, October 9, we have our monthly forum. Bob Horner will explain how and why he got involved in the Israel-Palestine crisis, which led him to create Partners for Palestine, also known as P4P. He will give us an overview of P4P and the work they are doing to address the violence there. He will also give us an overview of his recent trip to Palestine. Bob will then conclude with a summary and recommended actions each of us can take to seek peace and justice for both the Israelis and the Palestinians. Please sign up on the clipboard under the art shelves to assist and support our social justice team with the potluck following the forum. This concludes our announcements, and as we now begin the service proper, we will recite our vision statement. Please join your voice as we recite together. We will be an influential voice for progressive religious values in a diverse community. Our chalice keeper today is Helene Kirschbaum. We invite those of you joining us on Zoom to light your chalice at home.
We light this chalice as a symbol of reunion. We reunite in the sanctuary to share the flow of our hearts with one another. We gather together in ritual to celebrate our fountains of joy, to hold each other through storms of grief, to guide one another through rapids of transformation, to rest together on ponds of stillness. Together, we honor the spirit of water, its many forms, and its life-giving essence.
Our opening words this morning come from Judy Brown. This is trough. There is a trough in the waves, a low spot where horizon disappears and only sky and water are our company. And there we lose our way unless we rest, knowing the wave will bring us to its crest again. There we may drown if we let fear hold us in its grip and shake us side to side and leave us flailing, torn, disoriented. But if we rest there in the trough, in silence, being in the low part of the wave, keeping our energy and noticing the shape of things, the flow, then time alone will bring us to another place where we can see horizon, see land again, regain our sense of where we are and where we need to swim. Come, let us worship together. Please rise and lift your voice in song with me for our opening hymn, Come, thou fount of every blessing. Okay. Our story this morning is Higgins, A Drop with a Dream by Christopher Bice. Once upon a time, there was a drop of water named Higgins. Higgins was no ordinary drop of water. He was a drop with a dream. Higgins lived in a valley where it had not rained in a very long time, so all of the lovely green grass was turning brown, all the beautiful flowers were wilting, and all of the trees were starting to droop. Higgins had a dream that one day the valley would be a beautiful place again. But what could he do? After all, he was only a drop of water. One day, Higgins decided to travel and tell the others about his dream. All the others listened very politely, but no one believed that his dream would ever come true. "Higgins," said one, "get your head out of the clouds. You can't spend your whole life dreaming." Higgins decided that he had to do something to make his dream come true. So he began to think and think and think. One day, as he was walking by a rusty old bucket, he got an idea. If enough of us drops of water got together in this bucket, Higgins thought, there would be enough water to sprinkle on a few flowers to help them grow and be beautiful again. Eagerly, Higgins told everyone his idea, but everyone thought he was being foolish. "That Higgins is nothing but a dreamer," they said. Higgins again decided he had to do something to convince the others that he was right. So he said to them, "I don't know about you, but I'm getting into the bucket. I hope some of you will join me. Then there will be enough water to help at least some flowers grow beautiful again." So Higgins ran as hard as he could, hopped all the way in the air, and landed with a kerplunk at the bottom of the bucket. And there he sat, just a drop in the bucket. For a long time, Higgins was very lonely. It seemed like no one else was going to join him. But after a while, some of the other drops could see that the grass was dying, and the flowers were wilting, and the trees were drooping. They all agreed that something must be done. Suddenly, one drop shouted, "I'm going in the bucket with Higgins." And he leaped through the air and landed, kerplunk, in the bucket. Then two other drops yelled, "Wait for us!" And they hopped through the air and landed in the bucket. Then 10 drops jumped through the air into the bucket. Then 30, then 50, and then hundreds of drops came from all around just to hop in the bucket. Soon the bucket was completely full of water, but there were still more drops who wanted to join. So they found another bucket and hopped in. Before long, there were 2 buckets of water, then 3, then 4, then 10, then hundreds, and then thousands of buckets of water. Along came a powerful breeze that blew over all the buckets, and all the water flowed together to make a mighty stream. Everywhere the water flowed, the grass turned green again, and the flowers bloomed, and the trees stood tall and straight once more. All this happened because Higgins had a dream, and his dream came true. Because he knew that although he was just a drop in the bucket, enough drops in the bucket make a bucket full. And when there are enough buckets with the wind behind them, then justice will roll down like waters, and righteousness like a mighty stream. Now we come to our weekly ritual that we share, moving us deeper into our service as we turn inward to consider transitions, the joys, sorrows, and concerns that we all experience in our life's journeys. There are 3 bowls, 2 bowls, no, there is 1 bowl. Oh, how am I messing this up so bad? We do this every week. Okay, taking a breath. I'm overheating, that's the problem. Having a little meltdown internally. There are 3 bowls of stones of different colors representing the gratitude of joy, the grief of sorrow, and whatever feeling you're having related to your concerns. After those present have placed stones in the water, our ushers will place stones from each of the bowls into the water on behalf of those who are not present with us in the building and those who have chosen not to or who are unable to come forward. Those online are invited to type into the chat to express what is on your heart. When all the stones have been mingled in the water, we will take a moment for silent meditation or prayer. You may now come forward. Let us take a moment now to reflect on our own joys, concerns, and sorrows, and those of others in this beloved community. As the sound of chimes will bring us back into the space in a moment, we will sing our responsive song, Voice Still and Small.
Good morning. The team that hosts, the team that hosts the potluck has the opportunity to introduce themselves the Sunday before during sharing of abundance and social justice. With your assistance, we'll be hosting the potluck Thursday. The September issue of the newsletter listed many of the activities of the Justice team and many of those who assist with the activities and all the actions that we take. I'm not sure a couple were mentioned. Liz Perdue and Sally Bethar are our co-leaders for the Welcoming Congregation, and they're very much a part of our team. And so I do want to thank each of you who has done all of those activities that make a difference in our community with social justice. Each of us carries the responsibility to practice behaviors of justice. Call your congressional representatives daily to voice your concerns, make a difference. These calls are documented, so make your calls. And prior to the pandemic, Lucy Rich, coming up from the Venice congregation, taught us to make plarn mats. That's using plastic bags that you get from the grocery store, slice them up, tie them together to make mats for the homeless. And so if any of you want to learn how to do that and contribute another justice activity, see Lucy after the service. But we will definitely see you Thursday at 4 for the forum. Afterwards for the potluck, those of you who want to assist setting up, we'll see you at 3. Thank you for all the work you do for justice.
We will now receive your offering. If you're visiting us for the first time, please do not feel obligated to give. You are our guest, and we are happy to have you here with us. This is the time in our service which those who wish to make some monetary contribution to our congregation's vision and mission give to support this community and its outreach. If you are putting cash in the basket that you want to credit to your pledge, please put the cash in a brown envelope with your name on the front. Envelopes are available on the table at the back of the sanctuary. I invite the ushers to come forward.
A reading before the sermon. This is Remember You Could Be the Water from Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Rainmaker, You Could Be the Water. By the scent of water alone, the withered vine comes back to life. And thus, wherever the land is dry and hard, you could be the water. Or you could be the iron blade disking the earth open. Or you could be the acequia, the mother ditch, carrying the water from the river to the fields to grow the flowers for the farmers. Or you could be the honest engineer mapping the dams that must be taken down, or those dams which could remain to serve the venerable all instead of only the very few. You could be the battered vessel for carrying the water by hand, or you could be the one who stores the water. You could be the one who protects the water, or the one who blesses it, or the one who pours it. Or you could be the tired ground that receives it, or you could be the scorched seed that drinks it, or you could be the vine, green growing over land in all your wild audacity. Today, we are gathering not exactly as drops in a bucket, but to address a drought in the world, a drought perhaps in ourselves. I've recently been reading a book that has given me a different lens for water. It's called Strong Like Water: Finding the Freedom, Safety, and Compassion to Move Through Hard Things and Experience True Flourishing by therapist Andi Kolber. She is also a Christian, and I mention that because her understanding of God, which is kind and loving, is a secondary part of her message. She grew up near the Pacific coast and would find herself in her early 20s going to be near it to, quote, be regulated by the rhythms of the waves. I wanted to feel immersed in something much bigger and more powerful than myself, she writes. That feeling of wanting to be immersed in something much bigger and more powerful than myself is one that I've had plenty of times in my own life. For me, that's a feeling of being connected with that which is greater than we are, which some call God. It's probably the reason I love being in and near water so much, to feel literally held by the world that we are a part of. Anyone who has watched or been on or in a natural body of water knows that water is not always gentle, though. Sometimes it can be quite destructive. The way that the water moves through the cycle of rain and storms, from a body of water into the vapor in the air, to the clouds, and through rain back to the ground, or from gentle rolling waves to storm surge. Our lives too may move in certain ways or go through periods of difficult times, or we may even be the ones causing this in others' lives. As water moves through these cycles, so too do we. Reflecting on water helped Colbert imagine how we, who have been through trauma, can understand ourselves and the journey toward healing that we can go on. If trauma doesn't feel so present to you, think of grief or some other human experience. Colbert imagines it all as flowing, sometimes back and forth along a spectrum. She calls it the flow of strength. As she says, regardless of where we have been on the spectrum, our bodies, minds, hearts, and spirits are all working to make us strong in the ways we need to be strong at the time. As our lives change and perhaps our circumstances or internal processes change, we may find that what served us to survive a traumatic time may no longer be helpful to us. That is the kind of strength that we needed then, and we move into a different type of strength that would be more effective now. Colbert writes, "The flow of strength idea is meant to help us visualize that, like water, our response to challenging circumstances is meant to be fluid. The more supported and safe we feel, the more we heal and grow, and the more flexible we will become. Like a skilled sailor, we learn to adjust to changing seas." The strength needed in times of great challenge, difficulty, stress, and trauma, she calls situational strength. Colbert describes it as the kind of strong that may outwardly appear to carry you through stressful situations unscathed, but that leaves you both anxious and high-strung, as well as numb and exhausted. By learning what Colbert refers to as compassionate resourcing, we can move out of situational strength and into what she calls transitional strength. She writes, "This is the place where we begin to attend to the wounds and or traumatized parts of ourselves with safety, resources, and support. But unprocessed pain may still exist. The two realities can exist at the same time." Transitional strength is especially important because this is where we do good growth, along with healing. Transitional strength is the space where we move a little out of our window of tolerance, that place where we feel safe, supported, and comfortable, where we can practice curiosity, awareness, and even creativity, she says. Transitional strength is where we can learn to try something different, to take some risks. We may move through these two spaces at different times and at different parts of our lives, and may move back and forth. Too far out of our window of tolerance, for example, and we may move straight from transitional strength into situational strength, from a place of growth into a place of harm. The paradox of being human, she writes, is that we need discomfort to grow, but it must occur at a pace and a way in which our bodies can tolerate. I really appreciate this framework because Colbert celebrates that our minds, bodies, hearts, and spirits just do what needs to be done to take care of ourselves, to make sure that we survive. Often this is regarded as a deficit or failure of some kind. But in her framework, this is all good and deserves to be honored. We cannot and will not grow by shaming ourselves and each other. The last part of the flow of strength is integrated strength. This is where everything comes together, the situational and transitional strengths, and we learn to compassionately understand and appreciate all our strengths and parts together. She writes, "We can develop the kind of strength rooted in love, not fear. The kind God lovingly offers and models for us, strength like water. What a profound paradox this tends to be when we consider our truest strength. Everywhere we look, we assume that it is pain that makes people tough. But as the wise researcher and psychologist Alan Shore has noted, the resilience is in the repair, not the wounding." Shore was speaking to the importance of parents repairing with their kiddos after pain or a relational rupture, but the point stands. The strength of resilience doesn't happen because of wounding, but because of what happens afterward. When pain and trauma are met with the love and support needed to repair the wounding, we heal, and we are able to hang on to everything we learned from that experience. She continues, "In this space, we feel pain, but we are not swallowed by it. Love, hope, and safety allow us to leverage, risk, and face hard things from a place of resourcefulness that is unavailable to us in survival mode." If you are new to healing from trauma, this might be a helpful model for you. Before the pandemic, I would have assumed that some of us have experienced trauma, but now we all have. The idea of remembering that our systems are brilliant at navigating us through and caring for us during a trauma and in the healing journey is life-giving. When I was a hospital chaplain, I would assure people that they would know when they'd done enough work for a day or whatever period, and when they might be ready to begin again. When we listen to ourselves, we know. That feeling of overwhelm that happens means you've hit too much and it's time to stop. That feeling of frustration that you aren't better might mean that it's time for a little more. Checking in with your minister or therapist can offer additional support and clarity as you ride the waves of healing. I also highly recommend this book if that is something that you are interested in exploring. By following the flow, we learn to become strong like water. Like water, we become more flexible and adaptable. We can make choices about our responses instead of simply reacting, or be curious without being defensive. And we move from a space of needing protection against the world to a space of being in connection with it. While reading this book, I was also reminded that water itself is hydrophilic, that is, having an affinity for water. The water molecule is highly receptive to being with other water molecules, and they create strength among themselves. This is the deeper understanding of the Higgins story. This is why drops of water on a counter, for example, will remain in a domed shape and not simply flatten themselves out, as gravity would suggest. They become stronger together. We are all strong like water wherever we are on our healing journeys. May we all learn to ride the waves in gentle growth, and may we find each drop in the bucket of our healing connecting with more and more. And now we come to our water ceremony. It was following a service created for the Women and Religion Continental Convocation of Unitarian Universalists held in 1980 that the water ceremony was brought to our congregations throughout Unitarian Universalism. Carolyn McDade and Lucille Shuck Longview created the service and a new ritual that, as they say, spoke to our connectedness to one another, to the totality of life, and to our place on the planet. They asked some of the attendees to bring water with them from the places they called home and shared the significance of those waters as they poured them into a communal bowl. This was the beginning of a ritual many of us have come to look forward to each year. It is a reminder that we are all connected, that all waters lead to the same source and then go round the whole world again and again throughout time. This may feel especially connecting not only regarding our place among the life and lives on this planet, but also thinking about our religious traditions that remind us that we come from one love and are eventually returned to it. Again, this year for the ceremony, we have waters that we will pour that symbolize what is happening in our lives. On this table, there are mason jars with water in them. Each jar represents different ways that we might be experiencing life now or over the last year. One has salt in it for the droughts in our lives, the sorrows and sadnesses, for times of scarcity or feeling lost, the times when life feels like it may be taking more from us than it is giving to us. One has lemon in it for the currents in our lives, the zest of sweetness and sour, for change and travel and movement and new adventures. One has honey in it for the lapping of waves, the sweetness of life, or the soothing of being held and carried, for times when we are filled with gratitude and community and feel sustained. The last has parsley in it for the storms in our lives, the hardships and challenges, such as times of addiction, mental illness, or heartbreaks and losses. There is also an empty jar meant to represent those who do not have access to water, especially those in Gaza. You are welcome to come up and pour just a bit from one or more of these jars into the bowl that feel the most resonant for you. And when you are done, you may return to your seat. You may now begin. For all the ways these waters represent the fullness of life, the ways that the people here may be experiencing any one or more of these things, and something yet unnamed, we give thanks for this congregation, where all are held with us. If you would please rise and lift your voice in song with me for our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home.
Helene now is going to read us her chalice extinguishing mass.
As we blow out this flame, we keep the light in our hearts, the warmth of love in our lives, and the flow of community between us. The waters we've poured together remind us that we're all part of one larger stream, connected, carried, and renewed. May we go from here refreshed, ready to share that spirit wherever we are.
I invite anyone who has just begun to visit with us and who wishes to do so to introduce themselves. please raise your hand, and an usher will bring you a microphone. Please keep the microphone closer to your mouth so we can hear you better. Anybody home? Oh, right there.
Hi. Hi, I'm Mike Primps. I'm here for my semi-annual visit. Usually I come here in the spring and the fall, hang out with my mom for about 5 days, and we always go to the Unitarian Church on Sundays.
Great. Welcome.
My name is Alan Lokegard. I've been here a couple times for other things, but the reason I'm here today is I'm looking for a place where I feel that my spiritual journey would be of some value to people. So I'm just a visitor.
Welcome. Anybody home? No? If you'd like to receive regular communications on upcoming Trial U events, please take and fill out a guest card which will be available at the door after the service. On November 4th, there will be a class for those wanting to know more about Trial U. Please sign up at the table in the back of the room. If you can't or don't want to wait until then to ask your questions, please see Andrea right there at the table after the service. We are interested to hear how you experienced this hybrid worship service and what you took away from the sermon. Please keep comments brief and on the topic. No announcements, please. And this is underlined here, so it's very important. So no announcements.
Thank you very much. Oh, pardon. Oh, sorry. I beg pardon. As I grow older, I am less and less physically flexible. Water is flexible. And I thought this was so appropriate for this congregation and for me particularly. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. And Helene has her hand emphatically raised.
Hi, I'm Helene Kirschbaum. And one thing that hit me today is how water, as you said, drops of water, they attract each other, you know, and all that. And then I'm thinking further, most of our bodies are water. And what are we attracted to naturally before we get into our head stuff that stops us from doing so? Each other. And how, as each other, and we all gather as each other, that we actually are stronger than one drop of water, than one person alone. And thinking how, as we gather more and more people in our lives, how we can be stronger and be able to lean on each other and all that kind of stuff, community. And I just am grateful for our community, our mishpacha, as I call it, family that we have here.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Quiet today.
I know.
Hi, I didn't introduce myself because I've been here before. My name's Anna Shakti, it's my spiritual name. I have been definitely very moved by this. I'll always remember this because I'm new in the area. So there's transitions. My mom died this year. I had a divorce. Like there's lots of transitions and things I've had to navigate through. But I've been a member of various UU churches around Florida for the past 25 years. and I've been involved with different things. But one thing I've found coming up a lot for me lately is fear. So the idea of being able to navigate through the fear and sort of come to a higher place of understanding and strength really moved me quite a bit. So thank you. I think that's going to help me with my next transition.
Thank you.
Hi, it just come to my mind. I wrote a little poem in Spanish to the water, but it's in Spanish. Maybe next year I can translate it for you. But one of the things the poem says is how happy I am that I can share everywhere with everybody. And the sound of rain always dissolve the worries of people. That's what it says in the poem. Yeah, thank you to the water.
Thank you, Lucia. Okay. Yeah. It's been a while since we did this one. Jean Harrison Nuyar writes in The Gift of Faith, in the lore of ancient China, there's a story of a philosopher who was asked, "Where is the road called hope?" He replied, "It does not exist, but as people move upon it, it comes into being." I invite you to continue moving forward on this path, this journey, this road called hope with me.
Okay, so time for coffee and fellowship in the back of the room until 11 o'clock. If you want a bit more to eat or more time to visit, there is a sign-up sheet on the table near the bookshelves to coordinate with others who would like to go out for brunch. The Zoom room stays open for 20 minutes.